Removing backgrounds in ON1 Photo RAW is really easy, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's go. Alright, so here we are inside of ON1, and let's just go ahead and remove this background. Now, what I need to do is come over to my layers pane. If your layers pane is deactivated or if it's collapsed, then all you have to do is click on layers, and then you'll see your image with the file name of your image. To the left of that file name is going to be this little rectangle with a circle. This is your layer mask. Now, I don't want you to get confused with thinking of any other mask inside of ON1. This one is actually going to hide pixels, which is what we want to do to remove the background. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on that mask. And this works like any other mask. All I'm going to do is come up here to my tools, and I'm going to grab my quick mask AI brush, because that's the easiest way to get rid of a background. And you're going to be extremely blown away at how simple this is. And some of you may already know where I'm going with this. But once ON1 gets done analyzing your image, you get this crosshair, and I can just click, drag. It's going to select my bird here. Now, what's really important is that you select the correct option in the upper left menu here. So for me, I want to keep the bird in my image and get rid of the background. Since I have the bird selected, I want ON1 to paint the bird into my image. So I'm going to make sure that paint is selected. If I were to select erase, it's going to make a hole with the shape of my bird and leave the background. I don't want that. So I'm going to click paint, and then I'm going to come over here and I am going to select the blue check mark. Now ON1 is going to do its thing, and look at that, I have cut out the background. Now when you start to see these little checkered boards in the background, that's ON1's way of saying there's no pixels back here. That's all that it's saying. So you want to make sure that you get this checkerboard. Now, if you want to see the work, I'm just going to go ahead and put a solid layer back here. We'll make it blue, because why not? So I'm going to go ahead and hit blue. And if you're wondering, like, Chris, how did you get that? All I did was I clicked on the paint bucket for add color fill layer over here in the layer pane. And then I selected the color as you saw. And now when that comes into the layer stack, it's going to go on top of my image. I don't want that. So I'm going to go right underneath here and drop it. And you can see I have my bird right here cut out. It's not going to get impacted by anything else. Okay. So now that we have the bird cut out, that was a relatively simple background, but I wanted to showcase the concept. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we would do this for a more complicated background. Okay, so here we are on image number 2, and this one is got a little bit more going on, but still fairly simple. So let's see if the same steps will work for this image. What I'm going to do is go ahead and click on my layer mask in the layers pane, and then that's going to activate my layer mask properties, or my masking properties, which again are the same across all of the masks. The only difference with the mask that we're working on is this one is getting rid of the pixels, or hiding the pixels, because they're not actually deleted. And I'll show you that here in a second. So if I come over here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the quick mask AI brush. ON1 is going to do some thinking to figure out, like, hey, what is in this photo? So we'll let that happen, and then we'll come back. Okay, so ON1 has finished thinking through, and you can see I have my crosshair. So all I have to do is click and drag, and I'm going to select. Now, it didn't actually select what I wanted, so I'm going to hit Command and Z to undo that. And we're going to try this again to see if it will select the people. And I had to hold it there for a little bit. You can see that it's selecting the people, but it's missing a little bit on the backside of this person. So what I'm going to do is hit Command and plus. That'll be Control and plus on a PC. And I'm going to make sure that I have every aspect of this person selected. So I'm just going to hover my little icon. You can see I need to get back here, get the back of that of the helmet, missing some of this person's face. We're definitely missing all of this boat. So we're just going to clean this up really easy. All right. Looks like it got that pretty well. And then we're also missing this oar here. So let's go ahead and get that added in. So we'll just hover over the bottom there. So looks like we were missing some of that man's hand, and we're probably missing some over here as well. And you can see it's actually selecting a lot of extra stuff, and that's okay. We're going to talk about that here. So now that I have a pretty decent selection, and you know what, I think for this, I'm going to actually get where these men are stepping. And I don't think I want that last piece, so we'll leave that. All right. We'll say that this is the selection that we want. So now, again, I'm going to come up here and make sure paint is selected. I didn't actually select the sky because my mouse hovered over that. It looks like I did. There we go. And yeah, I'm not going to actually, here, let's do this. Let's hit Command and 0. We'll zoom out. So now I'm going to make sure that I click paint, and then I'm going to come over here to the blue check mark, and I'm going to let ON1 paint in the pixels of these people. And you can see it does a rough cut of everything. Now, is this perfect? No, it's not, but that's okay, because what we can do is using our masking tools, we can come over here and we can refine this. Now, you could use the refine mask or the brush tool. I personally like to use the brush tool. All right. And what I'm going to do is go with a 100% feather, make a little bit of a smaller brush, and I'm on erase because now I want to start erasing the pixels or hiding the pixels. And I could just come in here and I can get rid of what's going on right inside of here. And you can see how that's working. Now, to make sure that I'm doing a good job along the edges, I want to use the perfect brush. To activate that, you can come up here and click on this little icon, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Command and R or Control and R if you're on a PC. I'm just going to go ahead and click it, make it simple. I don't need this pop-up anymore. I'm going to hit close. And now what I can do is just paint in this area. And let me zoom in here. We'll hit Command and plus. I want you to be able to see what's happening. And then I'm going to make my brush size just a little bit bigger. There's a little negative icon in there. As long as I have that over the area that I want to remove, when I paint, it's going to make sure that anything that isn't like that along the edges of my brush, it's going to make sure that those don't get selected or erased from my my mask here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of paint through here and clean this up, and you'll see that you get a little bit of a better mask. Now, this is a lot easier to do if you actually had the cutout over a background. What I like to do whenever I work like this is, let's go ahead and hit Command and 0. We're going to add a solid color layer. So to do that, come over to your layers, click on the Add Color Fill, and I like to work on something that's going to help me really see where my gaps are. So something that's like vibrant or contrasty to the cutout. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to click and drag this in my layers pane underneath the image. And what that does is it gives me a matte. Now I can turn this off later on down the line, but you know, if you really want to get in here and do some fine-tuned work or just zooming in, I can see, all right, I got some work to do over here. So I'm just going, oh, I'm on the wrong mask. So let's hit Command Z and then make sure that you're on the right mask. All right. Right now I'm on the color fill layer mask and I need to be on my image layer mask. And then I can come over here and start cutting this away using the perfect brush. And this does take some time, so I'm not gonna like perfect this in this video. I just wanted to show you what you could do. And you know, if I needed to cut out this little area right here, look at how easy I can do that. It'll take some time. Make sure that you get this to work the way that you want it to. And then, you know, zoom in, zoom out, make sure that you get the cutout exactly how you would expect it to be. So when it's all said and done, you can transpose this over a separate image. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this layer. I'm actually going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit the plus icon. And then this brings me to my extras. I'm just going to click on folders, and this brings me to the folder where my item or my image is. But inside of that image, I have this photo over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. You can select whatever image that works for your photo. And you can see when I clicked on the color fill layer, it put that layer right above it. Let me go ahead and expand this so you can see. Because I had the color fill layer selected when I decided to add the layer of the desert here, it went ahead and put that right above the red layer. And so it just saves me the hassle of having to move these layers around. But if I needed to, I could just go ahead and move that up here, and then it'll be covering up my cutout. But I don't want that because I want to make it look like these guys are pushing this boat through the desert. All right. Now, obviously, this layer is not the same scale of the canvas that I'm working on. So I can do one of two things. I could change my canvas overall to fit the photo that I just put in, or I can just come over here to the left pane, click on the transform tool, or you can hit the letter V on your keyboard. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit this little fit icon, and this is going to fill the canvas. All right. So now I've filled the canvas with my background image, and it's time to place these gentlemen wherever I need them to be. And so I am going to go ahead and click on my image layer, and I now am on the transform tool still. Again, I can hit the letter V, or I could click these little crosshairs over in the left pane, and with my mouse I can click and drag these people around wherever I want them to be. And I also have the ability to rotate them if I just come right outside of here. And you know, this is getting into some advanced compositing, but you can get the idea. And then maybe I'll just put them into the water. And you know what? Let's go ahead and move this over like so. And we'll say that that looks pretty good. Now, again, this is really just me playing around and showing a concept, but let me show you one more thing that you could do, which is on the image layer. I need to make them look like they fit in with the background. Well, I can come over to effects, and if you're on the newest version of ON1, which at the time of the recording is ON1 Photo RAW 2025, then you can come over here and click on match color. And again, I'm still on the image layer, and I'm going to apply. I'm going to go ahead and hit layers, because I already have that image in my layer. And watch what happens to my people. You probably didn't catch it because I was clicking around. But as soon as I turn this back on, watch what happens. Let me just go ahead and zoom in a little bit here so we can make it really visible. I'm going to go ahead and turn this layer on. And now they have the same color grade as the image in the background. Match color and compositing is one of the coolest things that we can do inside of ON1 Photo RAW. So have some fun with this, experiment, see what you can get out of this particular thing. All right, so I really only showed one way of cutting things out, and I think that that's the fastest way and probably the most interesting way for those who watch the videos on this channel. Now, if you got different questions about how you can cut things out and how you can blend stuff together, leave it in the comments section below. I'd love to be able to hear the questions and answer as best I can. But of course, if you want to really learn how to use ON1 Photo RAW, consider signing up for a coaching call with me, and I'll walk you through whatever questions you have about ON1. If there are things that I can answer, then I'll walk you through ways of making ON1 work for the style of photography or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So consider signing up for that coaching call. Link is down in the description box below. Now, if you want to purchase things over on the ON1 website and save a little bit of money in the process, consider using my coupon code FreeWillPhotos20. I make a small commission every time someone uses it, but that's at no extra cost to you. It's a win-win. You save some money and I earn a small commission to take care of this channel and ensure content keeps coming right here on Free Will Photos. So with that, I hope you found some value in the video. And if you want to learn more about ON1 right here on YouTube, watch the video that's coming up on screen next. Until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.